Good morning, everybody. This is Joe Cusick from the Cusick Group with your Traders Exclusive for this Thursday. Well, it has been a momentous week to say the least, especially after coming off of last week's mixed action. Looks like the bears were about to grab some traction. Well, the gaps yesterday have really fueled the recent breakouts in both the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, and the Russell 2000. Now, speaking of small caps, and the Russell 2000, small caps and micro caps have been leading the way. That's a big statement, especially now that we're getting into that June expiration cycle and that future Fed meeting. If we see that small caps are the catalyst to the upside and they continue to lead to the upside, that's going to be positive not only for the bulls in the market, that's also going to be positive for the domestic economy, because those are the stocks that basically are small domestic U.S. stocks. That's a good positive for the economy. Now, taking a look at other positive sectors that we want to keep an eye on to see if the momentum is going to continue, is going to be the materials and finance sector. They've been leading the way. That's a big positive for the large cap indices, the S&Ps, as well as the NASDAQ. We want to see these groups leading to the upside. We also want to see metals and mining. And I'm not talking about precious metals, I'm talking about steel. If we see that these are still having the momentum moves that they've had recently, that is another huge plus, not only for the domestic and globally economic growth factor, but it's also really positive for the markets. Oil and gas services, with oil now up above $50, they have been surging off of support as of late. That is yet another positive. Now, there are four stocks, switching gears a little bit, that I want to keep an eye on because they've had recent pullbacks and then have popped to the upside and are looking to challenge their downtrend resistance. CVX, DNOW, Eaton, and RDC. Put these on your watch list. Do some homework. They've had a lot of momentum to the upside. They've been popping up. If this market continues to catalyze to the upside, these stocks could really test that resistance of the downtrend and put in potentially a new uptrend. Now, not to put a Debbie Downer on this Thursday's action and all of this week's action, we really got to take a step back. 4 times this year, we've seen this type of momentum in the market. We saw it in March 29th, we saw it on April 18th, May 10th, and we also saw it on May 24th. And specifically what we were gauging this momentum with was watching the relative strength in the S&P 500 as well as the stochastics. And they both moved into overbought territory. In other words, 70 to 90 levels when you're looking at those respective indicators. Now, I want to note here that each time we've either been very close to these levels or broken through them, it's been a point of resistance. Yes, we've had a little grind higher, but then it's pulled back. And you can look at those dates on the S&P 500 and you'll see what I'm talking about. Now, yes, those were overbought situations, and yes, markets can stay overbought for quite a long time. But the bottom line is that if we see any consolidation up at the levels, specifically in the S&Ps right around 2102 or 2110, I want to watch to see if the bears jump in. Those could be critical levels where we could see that overbought nature of the market start to weigh on it, especially if we don't have any other catalysts coming in, and the bears could come in, or at least the short-term shorts could come in and start banging down the market. So you might ask, where do I start looking then, Joe, to potentially dipping my toe back into either adding to or jumping into the market? Watch the 20-hour estimated moving average on the S&Ps. If you see that the market is holding that, and currently right now that level is right around that 2070 level, 2065. If you see in fact that the market is holding up when it gets to that level, that's a good barometer that buyers are starting to come back in the market after relieving somewhat of an overbought nature. All right, that's it for this Thursday. This is Joe Cusick from the Cusick Group, wishing you a great rest of the trading day and also a great rest of the weekend and into next week. Talk to you then.